What if a single moment with the president could pull you out of the darkest hole? This is the story of a grieving mom and her little girl, and a surprise from the White House that changed everything. Before we dive in, drop a comment with where you're watching from, hit like and subscribe for more real stories that grab your heart. Let's get into it. Picture this: a little town called Lancaster, Pennsylvania, where the winters bite hard and the houses lean close like they're sharing secrets. It's February 24, 2025, and the sun's barely up, just a faint glow behind a sky heavy with gray. In one of those houses, a small, sagging place with peeling paint, lives Olivia Harper. She's 38, a mom who's been running on empty since her world flipped upside down 3 years ago. That's when her husband, Tom, didn't come home. A truck slid on ice, took out his car on Route 30, and left her with a pile of memories and a daughter who won't stop dreaming. Tom was the loud one. Big laugh, bigger heart. He ran a printing press downtown, always smudged with ink, always telling stories about the papers he made. Olivia used to work the diner, pouring coffee and trading jokes, but after him she's been stuck waiting tables for tips that don't cover the bills, stuck staring at walls that feel too quiet. Their daughter, Sophia, though, she's 10, curls that won't stay put and a notepad she carries everywhere. Tom called her my reporter since she could talk, and she's been chasing that ever since. Now, here's where it starts. Tomorrow, they're headed to the White House. Sophia won a school essay contest. What America Means to Me, and the prize is a trip to D.C. for the first public tour since the new administration kicked in. Olivia scraped every nickel for it, skipping meals so Sophia could have this. It's a big deal, and Sophia's been counting the hours. Olivia? She's just trying to keep up. That morning, the kitchen smelled like stale coffee and yesterday's toast. Frost stuck to the window, blurring the backyard where Tom's old shed still sat, rusting. Olivia was at the table, her sweatshirt frayed at the cuffs, staring at a photo. Tom grinned back. Cap crooked, arm around a buddy at the press. She could still hear him humming off-key while he fixed the sink, see him tossing Sophia in the air till she squealed. 3 years gone, and it still hit her like a punch. The door banged open and Sophia stormed in, all noise and light. "Mom, one more day!" She waved her notepad, pages scribbled with gates and flags. "The White House. I bet we'll see someone big, like really big." She dropped into a chair, kicking her sneakers against the legs. Olivia managed a smile, small and tired. "Yeah, kiddo? Who's that?" She tucked a strand of messy hair behind her ear, hiding how heavy she felt. Sophia leaned in, eyes shining. "The president, Trump's back, Mom. I heard it on the radio at school." "He's got to be there tomorrow." She flipped her notepad, showing a doodle of a guy in a tie, waving from a window. "Maybe," Olivia said, soft. "He's got a lot going on." But Sophia's excitement tugged at her, like Tom's used to. He'd sit right there, egging Sophia on about her big scoops while he ate burnt toast. Olivia's chest ached, and she covered it with a sip of cold coffee. "I worked so hard on my essay," Sophia said, munching air like it was candy. "Mrs. Patel said it was awesome, about hope and stuff. Do you think they'll let me ask questions, like a real reporter?" "You bet," Olivia said, leaning forward a little. "You've got plenty to ask." She meant it. Sophia deserved that chance. Olivia had picked up extra shifts, ignored the growling in her own stomach, just to see her smile like this. But guilt crept in. She'd been half here lately, lost in her head. Not the mom Tom would have wanted. A knock hit the door. Sharp, quick. Sophia hopped up. Got it. She yanked it open, and there was Clara Hensley, their neighbor, holding a plate of oatmeal cookies. Clara was 60-something, all gruff voice and gray bun, her coat patched at the elbows. "Morning," Clara said, stepping in like she owned the place. She plunked the cookies down. "Made too many. Thought you could use 'em, Olivia. That coat of yours won't cut it in D.C. tomorrow." Olivia bristled a bit. "It's fine, Clara, thanks, though." She didn't need anyone poking at her life, but Clara's cookies were warm, and that meant something. Sophia snatched one, crumbs flying. "Mrs. Hensley, we're going to the White House. I'm going to write about it, maybe meet Trump." Clara's mouth twitched. "That right? Well, you tell him to keep it snappy, and don't let those suits boss you around, got it?" She shot Olivia a look, quick but soft. "Take care down there." Then she was gone, boots thudding out. Olivia watched the door shut, feeling Clara's eyes linger in her head. The old lady had been around more, shoveling their walk, dropping off soup, ever since she'd seen Olivia break down last year. Olivia didn't ask for it, but it stuck with her. "Come on, Mom," Sophia tugged her arm. "We gotta pack. It's gonna be so cool." "Yeah," Olivia said, standing slow. "Real cool." She hoped her voice hid the weight she carried. Next morning they hit the road in the Honda, a beat-up thing that rattled like a tin can. Fields blurred past, cows chewing under a dull sky. Sophia hummed, her sneakers tapping, while the radio buzzed. "Trump's in town, folks. Tours start tomorrow. Big crowd expected." "See?" Sophia piped up, grinning. "He'll be there, Mom, I knew it." Olivia's hands tightened on the wheel. "Don't count on it, kid. He's a busy guy." But Sophia's smile was catching, and Olivia let a little one slip out. "Hey, Mom." Sophia's voice dipped, quieter now. "Would Dad come with us, if he could?" Olivia's breath hitched. She saw Tom, clear as day, kneeling in the driveway, steadying Sophia's wobbly bike 4 summers back. "You're gonna tell big stories," he'd said, his grin wide as the sky. "Before the ice? Before the call that stopped her heart?" "Yeah," she whispered, eyes on the road. "He'd be right here." Sophia nodded, satisfied, and hummed again. Olivia swallowed hard. That ache, it pushed her forward. For him, for her. By dawn, February 25, they were at the White House gates. The air was cold, sharp in your lungs, and people milled around. Kids, parents, a hum of chatter. Sophia scribbled fast. Gates, flags, a guard's stiff nod. Olivia pulled her coat tight, feeling out of place in the crowd. "You a writer?" A guy nearby grinned. His son Matteo, 15 and sulky, hung back, earbuds in. "Yeah," Sophia said, lighting up. "I want to be a journalist. How's it work?" Jer laughed. "Lots of running and coffee. You'd kill it." He glanced at Olivia. "She's a live wire. First time here?" "Yup," Olivier said, short. "For her." She kept it brief, but Javier's easy nod made her relax a hair. "Us too," he said, nudging Matteo, who didn't budge. Trying to get him into it, his smile faltered. Just a flicker. But Olivia caught it. She knew that look. Someone muttered up ahead, "Trump might show." Sophia spun around. "Told you, Mom," she hissed, bouncing. Olivia didn't answer, just watched her glow. That spark, it chipped at the dark she'd been carrying. Javier gave her a quick grin like he saw it too. Maybe this trip wasn't just Sophia's after all. So there they were, Olivia and Sophia, inside the White House, stepping into the East Wing like they'd walked into a postcard. It was February 25, 2025, and sunlight spilled across the marble floor, bouncing off walls lined with old portraits that seemed to watch you move. The place smelled like polish and history, and Sophia was already darting ahead, her sneakers squeaking. She had her notepad out, scribbling fast, her curls bouncing with every step. "Mom, look!" Sophia stopped by the library, pointing at shelves packed with books. "Dad would have stayed here all day." Her voice was quick, excited. Tom used to haul home stacks of novels from the thrift store, westerns mostly, reading them to Sophia till she fell asleep. Olivia trailed behind, her hands shoved in her coat pockets, only half there. The chatter of the tour group buzzed around her, but it felt far away, like she was underwater. Sophia flipped a page. "I'm writing that down. Library, tons of books." "Maybe I'll ask about them," she grinned, all teeth, and Olivia nodded, her mind drifting. She was still stuck on that gate moment, Sophia's shine pulling at her. But before she could say anything, a loud voice cut through the room. "Who's ready for a good day?" It was Trump tie red and crisp, stepping in like he owned the place, which, well, he kinda did. The crowd went wild, claps, cheers, a kid yelling, "Wow!" Sophia grabbed Olivia's hand, squeezing hard. "It's him, Mom! I told you!" Olivia jolted, like someone flipped a switch, her eyes locked on him, taller than she'd pictured, moving easy through the group. Sophia's gasp yanked her right into the moment, and for the first time that day she felt awake. "Yeah, kiddo," she said, voice shaky. "You called it." They moved into the blue room next, and it was quieter there. Oval walls, soft light slipping through curtains, a garden peeking outside. The group spread out, folks snapping pictures, but all eyes were on Trump now. He was working the line, shaking hands, tossing out quick lines like he'd done it 1,000,000 times. He stopped by a guy in a flannel shirt first. "Where you from?" Trump asked, leaning in. "Iowa," the guy said, grinning. "Grew corn my whole life." "Corn's good," Trump shot back. Keeps the country going. Nice job. The guy laughed, and Trump moved on, nodding at a little boy who just stared, wide-eyed. Sophia bounced on her toes next to Olivia, clutching her notepad. "He's coming, Mom. What do I say?" Her whisper was fast, nervous. "Just be you," Olivia said, squeezing her shoulder. Her stomach flipped. She wasn't ready for this either. But then he was there, right in front of them, looking down at Sophia with a half-smile. "Hey, kid," Trump said, voice big but warm. "What's with the notebook? You a writer?" Sophia didn't miss a beat. "Yeah, I'm writing about hope, how people keep going when it's hard." She stood tall, like she'd rehearsed it. Trump raised an eyebrow, crouching down to her level. "Hope, huh? That's a good one. What's your story, kid?" Olivia froze, but Sophia kept going. "My dad, he died a few years ago, but he told me to keep trying, so I am." Her voice wobbled just a little, and Olivia stepped closer, her throat tight. "She's tough," Olivia said, quiet, almost to herself. "Car accident took him. She's been carrying us both since." She didn't plan to say it, it just spilled out. Trump looked up at her, his eyes steady, not rushing off. "That's rough. He sounds like a solid guy, raised a tough one here." He turned back to Sophia. "You're both champs, you know that?" He stuck out his hand and Sophia shook it, her grin splitting her face wide open. He held on a second longer, like he meant it. Olivia felt something shift. Her grief didn't vanish, but it softened, just a bit under those words. Sophia glowed, like someone had flipped on a light inside her. "Thanks," Sophia said, still gripping his hand. "I'm going to keep writing." "You better," Trump said, standing up. "Don't stop." He gave Olivia a quick nod, then moved down the line. Javier, the cab driver from earlier, was a few spots back with Mateo. He nudged his son. "See that? Pay attention." Mateo shrugged, his earbuds dangling, but his eyes flicked to Sophia, watching her scribble like mad. Olivia caught her breath, looking at Sophia. "You did good, kiddo," she said, voice low. Sophia beamed. "He liked it, Mom. He really did." The tour was winding down, folks heading for the exit, when a staffer tapped Olivia's arm. He was young, maybe 30, with a clipboard and a quick smile. "Ma'am, hold up a sec." He wanted this. He nodded toward a side door. A small room off the hall. No crowd, just wood walls and a desk with a lamp flickering. Olivia frowned. "What's this about?" "Just come," the guy said, leading them in. Sophia clutched her notepad, sticking close. Inside, Trump was there, hands in his pockets, no tie loosening or big show. Just him, looking at them. "Hey," he said, stepping forward. "That hope thing you're writing? Keep it alive, kid. You've got something real." He pulled a pen from his jacket, a plain one with White House stamped on it, and scribbled on Sophia's notepad. "Keep shining, Sophia, DJT." He handed it back, easy as that. Sophia stared at it, then up at him. "Wow, thanks." He looked at Olivia then, his voice quieter. "You're doing good with her. If you ever need anything, call my team. They'll know." He nodded, short and sharp, then turned for the door. "Take care, you two." He was gone before Olivia could blink, the staffer ushering them out. Sophia hugged her tight, right there in the room. "Mom, Dad would like him, wouldn't he?" Olitha's eyes stung, not sad tears but warm ones. "Yeah," she said, hugging back. "He would." She held the notepad, feeling that pen's weight in her hand. It wasn't big, wasn't loud, but it was something. A crack of light in the dark she'd been stuck in. They stepped back into the hall, Sophia chattering about her note, and Olivia felt a little lift, a little hope. Maybe she could keep going too. It was still February 25, 2025, and the White House was behind them now, just a glow in Olivia's rearview mirror. Sophia sat shotgun, her legs swinging, that White House pen clutched tight in one hand, her notepad in the other. The car rattled like always, but inside, it felt different. Lighter somehow. "Mom, he wrote my name," Sophia said, holding up the notepad so Olivia could see Trump's scribble. "Keep shining, Sophia, DJT. He said I've got something, that's so cool." Her voce was all bounce, her grin wide enough to light the road. Olivia glanced over, and this time her smile came easy, not forced, not fake. "Yeah, it is," she said, her voice steady. "He's right, you know. You've got a lot." She kept her eyes on the highway, but her chest felt warm, like a knot was loosening. Sophia hugged the notepad to her chest. "He liked what I said about hope and Dad. I didn't think he'd listen, but he did." She tapped the pen against her knee. I'm going to write about today. Everything. What do you write next? Olivia asked, turning the wheel smooth around a bend. She really wanted to know, not just saying it to fill the quiet. Sophia tilted her head, thinking hard. Something big. Maybe about how people help each other. Like Dad did. Like today. She grinned again, big and bright. I'm not stopping, Mom. Olivia nodded, her throat tight but not in a bad way. She could almost hear Tom, his big laugh filling the car, saying, "That's my girl." It wasn't him, not really, but it was there in Sophia's spark, in the way she held that pen like a prize. Olivia felt it, a bridge back to him, through her. "Good," she said, soft. "Keep going, kiddo." Sophia leaned back, humming now, her eyes on the darkening sky. Olivia drove on, the road stretching out, and for once, it didn't feel so heavy. A week later, back in Lancaster, snow was falling soft outside the school windows. It was a Tuesday, and Sophia stood up front in her classroom, her essay in her hands. The room was full, kids fidgeting, Mrs. Patel watching from her desk. Sophia's voice rang out, clear, no shakes, no stumbles. "My dad taught me about hope," she started, holding the paper tight. "He said it's what keeps you going when stuff gets tough. He's not here anymore, but I still feel it. Last week I went to the White House, I met the president, and he told me to keep shining. That's what I'm going to do. For Dad, for me." The kids listened, some nodding, some just staring. Olivia wasn't there. She was home, apron on, kneading dough with Clara, but if she'd heard, she'd have felt that warmth again. Sophia finished, sat down, and the room clapped, loud and quick. A woman lingered by the door. Lisa, a nurse with tired eyes and a scrubs jacket. She was picking up her daughter Mia, but she'd caught Sophia's words. "Hey," she said to Mrs. Patel after class, voice low. "Can I get a copy of that, what she read?" Mrs. Patel smiled. "Sure, it's a good one." She handed over a photocopy, and Lisa tucked it in her bag, heading home. That night Lisa sat in her kitchen, the essay on the table. Snow tapped the window, and her house was too quiet. Her son Ben gone 2 years now from leukemia. She read Sophia's words, slow, about hope, about keeping on. Her eyes got wet, but she smiled a little, setting it on her nightstand next to Ben's old baseball cap. It stayed there, a small thing that made the dark less big. Next day, Lisa stopped by Clara's place, 2 houses from Olivia's, with a bag of oranges. "Read something yesterday," she said, peeling one on Clara's porch. "That Harper girl's essay, about her dad in the White House, hit me right here." She tapped her chest. Clara grunted, rocking in her chair. "She's a firecracker, that one. Like her mom, even if Olivia don't see it." Her voice was gruff, but her eyes softened. Inside Olivia's kitchen, the oven beeped. Olivia pulled out a tray of rolls, flour dusting her hands, while Clara sat at the table, still talking. "Lisa's right," Clara said, loud enough to carry. "Sophia's got guts. You doing something right, girl." Olivia paused, mid-roll, Clara's words sinking in slow. She looked out the window, snow piling up, Sophia at school spreading light she didn't even know about. "Maybe," she said, quiet, but it felt true. She brushed her hands on her apron, a little steadier than before. Late that night, Olivia's bedroom was dark except for a lamp by the bed. Tom's watch sat on the nightstand, ticking soft, next to that White House pen. She picked it up, running her thumb over the stamp. It was just a pen, but it felt heavier, like it carried something. She opened Sophia's notepad, flipping to Trump's note. "Keep shining, Sophia. DJT." The lamp glow caught it, making the ink stand out. Olivia's mind went back. Tom lifting Sophia onto that bike, his hands steady, his voice saying, "You'll tell the world, kid." Then Trump, crouching low, handing her that pen with a nod. 2 moments, years apart, tied together by her girl. "We're okay," she whispered, barely loud enough to hear. She clicked off the lamp, the dark settling gentle around her. Downstairs, Sophia was at the kitchen table, pencil scratching big writing, and her next big thing, her curls falling over her face. Olivia didn't see it, but she felt it, like a heartbeat through the floor. Outside, snow kept falling, blanketing Lancaster slow and quiet. Lisa slept better that night, her son's cap next to Sophia's words. Clara hummed an old tune on her porch the next day, thinking of that firecracker kid. And Olivia, well, she wasn't fixed, not all the way, but she was moving. One step, then another, with Sophia leading the way. It wasn't loud, wasn't a big show. Just a mom and her girl finding their light, letting it spill out a little to the folks around them. And in that quiet, it was enough. If this story inspired you, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more real stories that grab your heart.